210 billions US debt, Yellen won US debt. The 10 years benchmark US bond yield closed up 3.45%. January 25, the fresh round selling as the debate over US debt ceiling issue put tremendous pressures US Treasury market. The CEO started Street warning the US bond could close the traditional low and safe haven asset if the US credit rating downgrade since the Federal raised the interest rate last year through November 2022. Global central bank have sold net $736.9 billion in US debt. In stock contracts grow in the gold reserve. For example, China and Japan have each sold up 210 billion in US debt during the period. So on. On January 25, debate over the US debt ceiling unfolded. US bonds were subject to a new round of selling with yield at benchmark 10 years. US bond closing at 3.45%, just as US debt ceiling issued by the enormous pressures on the US Treasury market. State Street chief executive warning the US bond could lose their traditional low as the safe haven asset if US credit rating downgraded immediately after US Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen said on January 24, a potential default US federal debt would bring the self-inflicted disaster to the US Treasury market that the debt default would trigger a downgrade of the US sovereign debt rating, mass filing and stop a collapse financial market, jeopardize US recessions. Weakening the US dollar as a global reserve currency could cause US financial crisis. Yellen said currently market may very concerned about whether the United States will pay interest on the debt of its bill. To the end, U.S. Treasury Secretary Yellen has sent another letter to the Congress of the debt ceiling issue, saying the Treasury Department has used the debt ceiling special measures to avoid default from the January 19, suspend insurance sale of U.S. debt until the January 5. Denied U.S. mint of a manufactured gold coin worthy of $1 trillion stored in the Federal Reserve, so the U.S. authority withdraw the fund, pay the debt, so that the U.S. authority can withdraw the fund, pay the bills. Analysis that could send the U.S. financial treasury markets sometime after early June, when the U.S. could default on this obligation, just as U.S. Treasury suspensions. U.S. debt insurance has weakened the ability to pay out the own debt. Big buyer, a global central bank with the national backdrop, are moving away from the reducing their U.S. debt investment, according to the latest TIC report on the international capital flow released by the U.S. Treasury. January 19, November 2020, although foreign private investors also saw the increased demand of U.S. debt, global officials, institutions, including global central bank, sovereign wealth funds, saw the 10th consecutive month of selling the U.S. debt. China reduced its holding of the U.S. debt totally $101.8 billion. This is the 3 months ending. Okay, so 3 months ending November bring the positions in U.S. debt down to the 12 years low, $87 billion, keeping the